Welcome to Fantasy Baseball, MLB edition. Steve Romano joins me. Hey, Steve.
How's it going, Dan?
Good. Let's talk some baseball. It's been an exciting week in baseball.
Yeah, the first week back from the All-Star break, you know, there was some good activity and some new teams coming on and teams that had been good all year kind of fading.
Definitely a little fading. And there was a couple, the trades have started. The Naylor trade kind of opened up the door. It's starting to trickle in the trades.
Yeah, we're coming up on it. I believe 3 more days till the trade deadline. And my Seattle Mariners kicked it off by trading for Josh Naylor from the Diamondbacks, which they desperately needed because I looked it up after the trade. And from the first base position, by a couple of metrics, the Mariners were like 20th or 22nd in the league from production from first base, and the Diamondbacks were ninth, and they just got the Diamondbacks starting first baseman. So hopefully that'll be an upgrade.
As we've been speculating all year, the least last few weeks, Arizona probably sellers. Everyone knew it because of the contracts they have. And Suarez is the next to go. And from what I understand, there's a few teams lining up from the Tigers, the Astros, the Phillies, and even the Mariners thinking about acquiring Suarez from the Diamondbacks.
That'd be, I mean, they got to get rid of him, right? Because they're not going to re-sign him. He's going to cost too much. He's a free agent at the end of the year. So, but from what I hear, they're asking quite a bit. And if I was the
Are they?
Mariners or the Yankees or whoever, I don't think I'm not trading the farm for Eugenio, 2 months of Eugenio Suarez.
So they're asking
I'm
for
not
a
doing
lot of
it.
prospects, a lot of top prospects.
Well, one article I read, was it in the Athletic? I forget, but they said they asked the Yankees for a current major league roster guy, a top prospect, and another guy, minor league prospect. Like, and I'm like, how are you giving someone up off your major league roster and a top prospect and then some random third minor leaguer? That seems a bit much, I think. I don't
It
see how you
seems a
can have a
bit
major league
much
roster guy.
yeah, for some teams, but at the same time, depending on your window, some teams would do it. Um, yeah, Naylor was dealt. Then a couple smaller trades. Then the Mets acquired Gregory Soto, the lefty,
Yep,
um,
both up beef up their bullpen.
from the Orioles. Yeah, he's good. He's definitely worth having. And then the Yankees made a couple trades. They got Ryan McMahon, and they got Ahmad Rosario. Um, McMahon from the Rockies, of course, Rosario from the Nationals, beefing up their infield a bit.
Yeah, well, they've been getting crap production from third base most of the year,
Crap.
and
Stinky.
yes, they're not good. So, I mean, McMahon, you can spin it a couple of ways. There's a few numbers where you're like, okay, sure, and then there's other numbers where you're like, these these are bad numbers, especially for someone playing at Coors Field. So,
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing, and yeah, he strikes out a lot for one thing, but he is a good glove, from my understanding, and it's the kind of trade that could wake somebody up, getting traded from the worst team in the major leagues to a contending team with historic franchise. I mean, he could from
yeah.
the last 2 months of the year he could be fantastic. Definitely a good roll of the dice. And then Ahmad Rosario plays a few positions, also a good pickup. And the Royals maybe showing their hand. I mean, I guess they're in it. They're not that far back in the wild card. We'll get into in a while. They picked up Randall Grichuk from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks obviously in sell mode, but the Royals a pickup.
Yeah, and as far as like lackluster position generation, supposedly their outfield is the worst in baseball as far as like runs created plus, weighted runs created plus. They're just getting not any production. So even even a platoon bat masher like Randall Grichuk actually will help them quite a bit because they just need outfield help.
Yeah, he's a bigger role of the die because he's definitely not as accomplished player. But when he gets hot, he's had some great baseball in him for sure. The Braves acquired Feed from the Cardinals and also from Red Carrasco. I heard they're just filling spots. They're not. They're still looking to sell. They're literally have five starting pitchers on the IL. And this recent trade, Chris Paddock, the Detroit Tigers picked him up and Radney Dobnak. So they picked up two relief pitchers from the Minnesota Twins for Enrique Jimenez. So that was the latest trade that happened in the last hour, I believe. And one of the reasons some of these trades are going through, Steve, is what's going on in the standings. Because if you look at it, it's very exciting in a couple divisions, especially when we get to the wild card race. But real quick in the division, the best team in baseball is now the Toronto Blue Jays, Steve.
I saw something about that a few days ago. I almost texted you when I read it. I was like, "Are you kidding me? The Toronto Blue Jays?" I mean, you've been asking me every week, who has the best record? And with the Dodgers, the Tigers, the Cubs. There was a brief time the Yankees, but it's pretty much been that for all year. And then all of a sudden, the Toronto Blue Jays?
Yeah,
Okay.
8-2 in their last 10. They're getting good play from Barger and Bichette and Guerrero lately. Um, and George Springer has been playing great lately. So, and getting a lot of good pitching. So, really surprising.
Yeah.
They've overtaken the Yankees, who are 4-6 in their last 10. They're now 5.5 games back, and the Red Sox are 6.5 games back. Red Sox won their last two. They're still kind of in it. Tampa Bay 10 games back, playing 500 ball. In the Central, the team we've been saying is the best team in baseball, the Detroit Tigers, now not the best team, but they're still leading the Central by 8 games. But they're 2-8 in their last 10. They were 1-9, but they won yesterday in their last 10.
And not only that, but I was looking previous to the last 10, they had lost four in a row.
Yeah.
So they're 2-12 over their last 16. Tigers playing poorly, very poorly.
Well, we just read they picked up some bullpen, so maybe that'll help. They're playing really badly, really badly. And the Cleveland Indians, 6-4 in their last 10. They had a bigger streak the 10 before that. They're now only 8 games back and in the wild card hunt, so we'll go to that. Kansas City, 8.5 games back, picking up players. They're 6-4 in their last 10. Minnesota 10 games back below 500. AL West, the Astros lead the Mariners by 4 games and the Texas Rangers by 4 games because the Mariners and the Rangers have a 56-50 record. Exactly. But the Rangers are 9-1 in their last 10.
On a 6-game winning streak.
Yeah,
As we were talking earlier, me and you, before we started this up, Rangers kind of really getting healthy. Have a lot of guys that have come back, and they still got more getting ready to come back. And their pitching has just been surprisingly great all season.
absolutely. The Rangers are really coming into form, getting some guys healthy, some guys finding their way. Really nice to see that they were expected to be a contender, and they totally are in the race now. Um, we go to the National League. The Mets and the Phillies keep playing their seesaw back and forth carousel. The Mets now 1.5 games up on the Phillies because they're 7-3 in their last 10, and they have the longest winning streak in the majors right now at 7 games.
Yep. Mets, and they've been hitting good too. Their lineup's been producing.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
some pitching back. Mania and Montas they've both
Senga,
been thrown. Okay, so yeah, Senga came off the IL. Phillies 1.5 back,
and he's
6-4 in
pitched
their last
good.
10. Yeah, Mets are playing well. It's going to be a tight one. I think both those teams will make the playoffs. Nobody else in the division above 500. The Central, we got the Cubs and Milwaukee tied for first place with a 62-43 record.
Yep, my Brewers and the Cubs, they're only, it's like a 45, 50-minute drive from Chicago to Milwaukee. It's
Is
super
it? Is it
close.
that short?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Did
I
I
mean,
I did not know that.
if you're an old grandma, maybe it's an hour and 15.
Sure, right, exactly. Well, they have a great race going on. Both teams playing well. Milwaukee 7-3 in their last 10. Chicago 6-4. Cincinnati, though, 7-3 in their last 10. They're only 6.5 games back, Steve, and they got to feel like they're in it. We'll get to the wild card in a second. St. Louis 9 games back, 1 game above 500. And then in the NL West, the Dodgers, of course, are leading, but they're only 4-6 in the last 10. The Padres are 5-5 in the last 10. The Padres are 4 games back.
Yeah, that whole division, because remember, they all started off great. I saw something the other day. I think San Diego started the season 14-2.
Yeah.
So that means since then, they're 43-47.
Wow. Wow. Interesting. Nice. Nice
Yeah.
breakdown. Um, so they're not, playing great overall, but I mean, since that beginning, but they're only 4 games back. San Francisco's the team you got to worry about, though. They're 2-8 in their last 10, 7 games back now.
Plummeting since the Devers trade. Oh, plummeting.
Plummeting.
Too bad.
Yeah. As a Red Sox fan, I know you're bummed to see them get Devers and start to play bad. I know that's got to hurt. Um, Real quick, the Colorado Rockies are 33 and a half games back. I always bring that up because that's amazing to me. They're not good, and it's a shame because in the wild card we got the American League, Toronto, Detroit, and Houston lead their division. So New York, Boston, and Seattle and Texas are now tied for the third wild card spot. Those are your wild card teams right now.
Dang.
Yeah, and the
Those are all
Yankees.
some
Yeah,
those are some good but flawed teams. New
I-
York, Boston, Seattle, and Texas.
that's really well put because the Yankees are limping now. Judge is injured. The Red Sox have
Oh yeah, that,
been back and forth all season. Seattle was hot for a while, but they've cooled off a bit. Texas coming on strong lately, probably the best team as of late. And here's the thing: those Rangers, they're only 1.5 games back of the first wild card spot.
yeah. All four of those teams are within a game and a half.
That's crazy, and that's why these teams gotta feel like they're in it. Tampa Bay slipping 3-7 in the last 10. They're playing 500, 53 ball. They're 3 games back, but Cleveland and Kansas City, they're 3.5 back and 4 games back, both 6-4 in their last 10. But they're below 500. But are they playing? I think they are. I think they're playing to be in it. Cleveland's been hot lately. Kansas City just made a pickup. They're close enough, I think.
I would agree. I think still, if you're Cleveland or Kansas City at this trade deadline, you might play both sides of the fence, but I still think you're making a run and trying to get people that can help you now.
Absolutely. The Angels are 5 games back. They're in it, but they're not going to be picking anyone up. They may unload a contract or two, actually. Minnesota, I would say 3-7 the last 10. They're going to be sellers at the deadline, Jacks or their other reliever, because they're not playing well. They're 5 games below 500.
Yep, I agree. I think they should start, I mean, trading. I mean, some people, I know Joe Ryan's a huge target, but he's under contract for 2 more years at like decent money, so I see no reason why the Twins would move him.
Did you hear about the news about um, the Indians closer?
Yes, uh, Cleveland's closer is getting caught up in the MLB uh, gambling betting investigation.
One Cleveland relief pitcher, I think, has already been reprimanded, suspended, or put on
Yeah,
leave, and he's the second one. It's Clase. You say it Clase, correct? Um,
yep, Emmanuel Clase,
so that
probably the best relief pitcher in baseball.
well, here's the thing: the Indians, as we just discussed, kind of in it, but they were definitely looking and listening for people looking for players to trade. They got some contracts. He was one of those guys. They lost that chip to trade, and now if they want to stay in it, they really don't have any bullpen to trade.
Yeah, agreed. He was definitely because they talked about some of the guys how they could just basically bump their entire bullpen up because they got some good guys. But now you're doing it already, and now you can't trade him. You know what I mean? So now they're still going to be bumping everybody up to cover his absence, but
Yeah.
now they can't trade him for prospects.
They got a few guys who could close. Kate Smith may be one of the best choices, but they got a few good guys at the back end of the bullpen there. So that's the standings. That's a wild card hunt. Now let's go to the National League, shall we?
Absolutely.
Really interesting what's going on over here because Chicago, Milwaukee are tied for the lead. So one of them have the division with the Mets and the Dodgers. So Chicago, Milwaukee are the top wild card team, 5.5 games up, the number one wild card team. The Phillies, 3.5 games up, second wild card team. But then the third wild card team is San Diego. But
Huh.
Cincinnati's only 1 game back. San Francisco's only 3 games back. And St. Louis is only 3.5 games back. All three of those teams are playing above 500. Cincinnati 7-3 in their last 10, like we said. So interesting races still
Cincinnati,
going on.
Cincinnati's definitely got to make a play. They've got talent to trade. They got young kids in the majors they can trade. They got prospects they can trade, and they've got plenty of salary room.
Yeah.
So there's no, I mean, a game out of the playoffs with 56 games to go. Yeah, they have to be buyers. Have to be.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. And they got to be loving the position they're in. They're 7-3 in the last 10. They're on a 4-game winning streak. San Francisco 2-8 in the last 10, but they've been sticking it out. I can even see them trading for someone to help them in some capacity, offensively or pitching wise. And St. Louis 3.5 back, 1 game over 500, 3-7 in the last 10. But I think they're probably sellers, especially when it comes to
Yeah,
Arenado.
and they had planned to take a step back this year and reload. And the fact that they're competing in 1 game over 500, 100 games into the season is they didn't expect to be here. So I think they're still going to probably try to stick to their plans of being sellers
Yeah,
and
I think that would be
hopefully
wise.
and generally speaking, I've always heard that St. Louis is the best baseball town in America. So
That's
I
what they
would
say.
hope that I would hope their fan base then would understand why their team is selling, even though they're relatively competitive.
There used to be a team there called the St. Louis Browns, I believe, um,
Yeah.
many years ago. Arizona and Miami, both 6 games back. Arizona a seller, as we know. But Miami, 50-54, 6 games back. That's a win for them. They're not expecting to be even that close.
Yep. And they've got one of the lower payrolls, low on talent, young age. I mean, yeah. I mean, one day they have to put it all together, though. The problem with Miami is it seems like they have a few of these years, and then they take some bad stuff happens, and they take a step back, and then they just do it over and over again. So the closest they ever get is kind of this, right? Doesn't it seem like that?
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. This is the closest they seem to get. So, but don't forget, they're a team that has won 2 championships.
Yes, two
Now,
championships.
both those championships were bought and sold the next year or two after they won.
Yeah,
Um, but absolutely, and that's you think about it. Teams like the Mariners and the Brewers, they've never won a championship. A couple big trade candidates out there: Joe Ryan, as you mentioned, Mackenzie Gore, the Nationals. They could be possibly dangling him, but Dylan Cease, I heard the San Diego Padres, even though they're in it, I heard they're possibly listening to beef up their offense.
yeah. I've seen that. I've seen him. He's on the block for sure.
So the Red Sox fan, as a kid, you're a Red Sox fan, still your number one team, even though you love the Mariners. But Duran, are the Red Sox? I get why they would want to trade him, but also I get why they would want to keep him.
Yeah, they do have a glut of outfield. They have too many outfielders. And luckily or sadly, injuries have allowed them to move guys around, play guys through the DH position. But the only reason he's on the block is because he's good. That goes without saying.
Right.
Last year he was fucking great, right? He was great last year. Um,
Absolutely.
he he's like on the good side, he's still young. He's only 28 years old, and there's 2 more years of team control. So anyone who gets him for 2 more years before they have to deal with anything. But but the flip side is if they trade anybody else, that means they're trading guys that are age 20, 21, 22, 23 who have 5 more years of control.
Right.
So I don't, the only reason he's at the front of the list is because he could bring back a haul and he's the oldest with least control. That's the only reason I think he gets mentioned the most.
He's the oldest at
Like
28. Yeah,
of
seriously.
all the
Yeah, no, I
of all the
totally
young
understand. I
guys that they would
agree.
sell.
Last year, he had
Yeah.
111 runs scored, 75 ribbies, 21 homers, 34 stolen bases. This year, Oh, last year he had 14 triples. This year he has 12. Just an interesting thing. It's a fun thing. So I totally get
Hmm.
that, and you would think they could get something pretty good. I think a contending team would love his bat and his play in the lineup because he's a good outfielder, isn't he?
You, oddly enough, they were talking about it because due to injuries and stuff, they've moved Cedane Raphael to second base lately.
Yeah.
And so they have Anthony in left and they've moved Durant to center. And so during the broadcast the other day, they were saying last year, Anthony graded out, I'm sorry, Duran graded out great in center field. He played there a lot. And this year he's been primary left field and he's grading out low as a left fielder at Fenway.
Wow.
So, but last year as a center fielder in Fenway, he graded high.
Wow, that's interesting.
So
One year
it is
difference.
interesting.
Here, I'm just
And
going to bring up a few
really,
names. Yeah, go ahead, finish your thought.
no, you're good. Go ahead.
No, that is interesting. Just 1 year later, he's only 28, so you would think maybe he's got an injury or something he's dealing with. Here are some names that are going to be moved for sure, or I think a high percentage. Okay, um, Ozuna for the Braves, if anyone would take him. Arenado for the Cardinals, if anyone would take him. Laureano from the Orioles, if someone will take him. Robert Jr. from the White Sox. Taylor Ward from the Angels. Would you agree at all those names I said? If someone's interested, they'll probably make some trades.
I would think all of those could be traded if a match can be made for sure. Like all those teams are willing to move on from those players, and they all have value enough to be traded for. But sometimes it's hard to make that match.
It is. But I think all those, I think at least half those guys will be traded. Another batch is Bednar from the Pirates, O'Hearn from the Orioles, um, Mitch Keller from the Pirates, Griffin Jacks from the Twins, and Duran from the Twins, also possibly. I think at
Yeah,
least half of those guys will be traded.
I would think. Let's say between both lists, you just threw out 10 names,
Yeah,
12 names.
about 10 or 12.
Let's say 6 or 7 get traded from all of those names.
That seems about right. That seems about right. It's going to be an exciting few days because I think we're going to have a flurry of moves made. I really do. Because, things are different now because you can't do the waiver trade after the deadline. Remember they changed that a few years ago?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so that does change
What
up
what
everything. Real quick, we'll go to stats because MLB is all about numbers. Major League Baseball, who scored more runs, who's hit more home runs, who's done what. Aaron Judge watch. He's batting 342. He's got 85 ribby. He's got 90 runs. But Steve, he just went on the IL. They say only possibly for 10 days, though.
Yeah, they dodged a bullet, right? Because it could have been like an elbow thing, like UCL. But
Well, they said
it
it's
looks like that's not the case.
that's what it looks like. They said they're going to work him back into the outfield slowly. He may DH when he comes back. He says swinging a bat's not a problem, but they put him on the IL. He leads the majors with a 342 average. Will Smith he's batting 324. I bring it up week to week, and I got to bring it up. Anytime he's out over 400 bats, one, two, three, 4 previous seasons, he never batted above 261. He's batting 324 this year. It's great to see. He's a catcher
Yeah, amazing. He'd be getting more highlights if it wasn't for the big dumper.
with a big dumper. And then third is Pena, and fourth is Aranda and Wilson. Wilson falling. He's down to 312. A couple weeks ago, he was at like 2 3 weeks ago 340.
Well, yeah, and just looking now to round out the 300, right? You got another catcher in Alejandro Kirk and then Manny
Yep.
Machado, and then that's it. There's only 7 guys with qualified at bats for the batting
Wow.
title hitting above 300.
Wow.
Only 7.
Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. Only seven are hitting over 300. In home runs, there he is right there. The big dumper with 41 home runs. Talk about Cal, Ralph.
Cal Raleigh still, I mean, yeah, I mean, he won the home run derby, and now he's hit 3 more home runs since the All-Star break. right? I mean, which is 10 games, say 9 games. I think 9 games.
Absolutely.
He's hit three more home runs.
Absolutely. Well, he has
So,
slowed down though. He hit 253 in April and 304 and 300 in June. He's hit 182 in July, but he's got 8 homers and 15 ribbies. That's pretty what he did in April when he had 9 and
what
16.
what's his what's his slugging by month? Is his slugging still kick ass then?
Sure, his slugging by month 586 April, but May 739, June 690, July 494.
Oh yeah, so he has indeed slowed down in July.
Could that because he's played a lot of games. Maybe if they're going to contend, he might need to grab some days off. I'm just saying. Otani's second in home runs with 38. He overtook Judge because Judge is on the IL. He's got 37 in third place. Schwarber with 36, tied with Suarez for 36. Those are the only guys above 30. All of them possibly could hit 50.
Right?
Yeah,
Because let's say, I mean,
on pace wise, yeah,
if we're basically 2/3 of the way through the season, very
exactly.
close. So it's
Yeah,
close enough to say it, right? So if you have 36 home runs,
yep.
then another what how would that work then? Oh,
You'd
18
be
and 18. Yeah, you're on pace for 54.
yeah, take half of what you have and add it exactly, and so 5 guys are kind of on pace for over 50 home runs. That's kind of exciting, actually, to be honest with you. Runs batted in. We got a new leader, Suarez, who will be traded, no doubt, in the next few days. The major league leader in RBIs, will be traded in the next few days. Cal is second with 86. Judge 85. He'll be losing that spot. Schwarber with 84. And then Alonso and Green and Suzuki from the Cubs with 81 RBIs, rounding up the top five. I wanted to bring up
You
something
know,
about. Go ahead.
no, well, I just Suzuki,
Yeah.
a quality guy should, he's an everyday outfielder, but he's been their everyday DH because Pete Crow Armstrong and what he has turned into. So the just the Cubs are, they're deep. They traded for Kyle Tucker. Crow Armstrong turned into what he is. Who's their other outfielder that I'm forgetting right now that's kind of forced Suzuki to the bench, to the DH spot at least? But they the Cubs are loaded, and Suzuki's a good fielder, and he's been DHing all year.
I love it. He played 138 and 132 games the last 2 years, and he had 20 and 21 homers. He's got 26 already in 101 games. He's been so solid. He has 81 ribbies. I want to bring up Riley Green because he's tied for fifth with 81 ribbies. He's got 25 homers. He's about 274. But the man strikes out a lot. He has
He does strike out
142
a lot.
strikeouts. 142.
Ooh, 142 strikeouts in 104 games.
Wow. So
Yeah,
he's on
that's
pace for over 200 for sure.
yeah, well, right. Like if you take that and
Take
halve it and
half.
double it, he's
Yep.
on pace for like 210.
Yep. Absolutely. So that's crazy. And then the young outfielder for the National, James Wood, he has 134 strikeouts. And then McMahon for the Yankees, they just picked him up. He also strikes out a lot. I brought it up earlier. He's got 130 strikeouts. He got 16 homers though. Um, but in 102 games, 356 at bats. That's a lot of strikeouts. 130.
Yeah. I mean, there's just looking at it there, there's quite a few. There's a lot of guys with a lot of strikeouts, right? I mean, if I'm just going down to,
A
I mean,
lot.
there's 106 games. So there's 30 players, right? Yeah, there's 30 players who are averaging a strikeout a game.
Yep. Over 30, really.
Yeah, yeah, actually more than 30 if you really put it all together. Probably closer to 50 realistically.
That is crazy. Major league leader in hits. We don't ever go over hits. It's interesting. We get a few different names here. Judge leads with 129 hits. Bichette with 126 hits. Trey Turner with 125 hits. Manny Machado with 122 hits. And then Churio for the Brewers with 121 hits. And then Witt from the Royals with 119 hit. Pretty interesting. Getting on base.
Yeah, yeah, all those guys definitely. strong hit tools. Looking at the averages of them, Churio with a 276 average and then a 308 on base. That's kind of weak right
That's
there.
weak.
He
Ouch.
he's only he's only had 20 walks. But then again, there's a lot of guys up there. Like Bichette's only got 24 walks. Luis Arias only has 20. Jacob Wilson has 21. So some of those guys, those hit leaders, I mean, they're putting the ball in play. They're swinging a lot.
Trey Turner only has 33. So yeah, they swing it. They don't want to walk. They're swinging at pitches. Interesting. Couple quick pitching stats. We have two guys with 12 wins. Peralta has 12, and Crochet has 12. They are on pace for 20 or close to it.
Yeah, Yeah, Crochet has turned out to be everything the Red Sox wanted.
Absolutely.
There was some risk, because he was primarily a reliever. No one had really stretched him out. The White Sox they were kind of in the process of doing that last season, but he didn't really have a track record of solid health or innings pitched. But the Red Sox still traded like their number four, right? Number 4, 8, 10, and 13 prospects to get him. And then they signed him to a 6-year deal at like 27 million a year. And now everything looks like it's turned out about as great as you could have hoped for.
A great season. He's having a great season. Peralta for the Brewers also a great season, maybe his best season ever. I mean, he's tied for his season high with wins with 12 already, but he had a great year in 21 and 28 starts. But he's got 22 starts. He's been everything the Brewers need. That's why they're in contention. They're one of the hotter teams in baseball. And then Bassett Boyd, who we talked about with the Cubs, 34-year-old, and Fried, Rodon, and Framber Valdez. Always a fun name to say, Framber, all with 11 wins. They're on pace for 17, 18 wins, but only two guys sort of outside looking in, possible 20-game winners.
Yeah,
It's sad.
that's disappointing. It is kind of sad, right? It is sad.
Maybe it's just because we're old. I don't know. But I like wins, and I know in some ways they're irrelevant, but in some ways they're not. But we don't have the time of 20-game winners is by the past. Steve, real quick, anything you want to bring up about possible trades or teams going on in baseball?
Um, no, I do think I'd like to see the Mariners shore up third base, but I don't think they have I don't think they should under the farm for Eugenio Suarez.
Yeah,
And but I would like to see them get another bat for that position. And then
the Red Sox.
I kind of am in favor of the Red Sox trading Jaron Duran,
Yeah,
if they can get a legitimate number two starter. Like that's what I want in return. Because right now they got Crochet and then just a bunch of question marks that can get it done on a given night, but there's no consistency. If they can get a legitimate number two pitcher, then I'm fine with making that deal. Otherwise, I'm not doing it.
I think a couple will be available. And as a Phillies fan, I hope the Phillies, of course, shore up their bullpen a little more. And there's talk about them adding Suarez. And listen, I don't care. Our window, we've been competitive. We've been to the series and lost not too long ago. Wheeler says he's only pitching to 27. He signed through then. I think our window's now. So I say trade whatever you need to get Suarez. If you want to get him, Bohm's on the IL. You worry about that later when he comes off the IL. Suarez, the RBI leader, the Phillies could obviously use him, I would think. But a bullpen arm or two and a bat for the Phillies. Preferably an outfield bat, but I take Suarez.
I do agree. I mean, the Phillies have good. I mean, their team is great too.
Yeah,
They got like three aces. They got the deep bullpen of arms. They got hitters up and down the lineup. They got some guys who started out cold but are playing great again, like Real Muto is playing great lately.
yeah.
So, and some of these guys are going to walk at the end of the year at free agency. Plus, the thing you said about Wheeler, only 2 more seasons. Yeah, I'm like, if you're ever going to bite the bullet and invest $20 million more in a season than you'd care to as an owner, it doesn't feel like this is kind of the year.
Yeah, this is the year. They're a good example of a team who's like now's the time. Just go for it. Go all out and try to make it happen. Because I'm a Philly fan, of course, and I love to see that happen. So that's Major League Baseball. We got some exciting races. We got some exciting trades coming up. Dan O'Day, that's Steve Romano. Thanks for listening. Cheers.
Have a good one.